Good evening. It's the 16th of August 2023 and I'm just going to recap my trades for today. On my chart at the moment you can see the 60-minute or the 1 hour time frame for the MES, which is the same chart as the ES futures chart as well. MES is the mini micros version, which means it trades 10 times smaller, and on my small account I use, it's perfect for me because one ES is equivalent to 10 MESs, so it gives me a bit more flexibility for scaling in and out of trades. So that's the reason I use MES. Anyway, we are looking at the 60-minute chart and we can see we've been on a downtrend all day today. In fact, we've been in a downtrend now for some time, putting in a series of higher lower lows, lower highs, with the exception of a double top, but we're still putting in lows and then back down, and today we put in yet another low and we're right at the zone, one of my places I was watching. I was hoping it wouldn't have got down there in the post market, because that's an area I wanted to go long at, but tomorrow maybe we watch it come back down. It might be another bounce, but it's fine. I took a couple of trades today. It was a bit of a choppy day, so I left pretty early. So where are we? So we had this level we was watching at 44.67, and which was the lows of these candles, and also it's the break and retest of this blue lower channel trend line. And we tested that trend line once and that level once in the pre-market, and when I did my pre-market video this morning we were about here. So I'm going to go into the 5-minute chart. So this is today. So my pre-market video was at 8 o'clock, so we were about here when I was discussing these levels, and this was a level I talked about, 44.67, as a high risk rejection area, and I had this level here 44.36 as a high risk bounce, and I had this higher probability lower risk area 44.16 as a to 44.20, that area as a higher probability bounce area. And as you can see, all these levels were flawless. So my first trade, I didn't discuss it, I may have mentioned it, I can't remember if I mentioned it in the video, but I was watching this area here for a potential breakdown and rejection. So I went short about there, and then we saw this big green candle out, and I got out as we got to the VWAP. As it broke through the VWAP, I was out there. So it was only 2 contracts because it's a high risk, and I got out. So I was down. I was down for the day in the first few minutes, first 10 minutes, which is fine because I was patient and I waited for my levels. I did consider reshorting at the high of this pre-market level, but I didn't because this was the level I was waiting for. So my next trade was on this trend line. So I thought we might do something like this, like we did previously. We touched trend line, pulled back, maybe hovered around to break down. So I went short here, just a small size, and I took another short just there, and I really wanted to take one more short there. And again, it's all small sizes, and my average price was about here. So it was 44.64, I think my average price was, about there. So that was good. So I didn't really take the profit I wanted. I got out on the VWAP, and then I sort of break through and I got greedy, thinking, oh, we're going to see a rejection down, and I ended up coming back out and stopping out at break even. Then I retook the short again up here and came down, got out at VWAP initially, and then it pushed down through the VWAP, and I thought this is the break I was waiting for. I'll zoom in actually. So at the time I was short here and we didn't know what's going to happen next, and it's purely based on the top of this trend line, which was I was expecting it to do what we did earlier, and we've broken it yesterday, and today we wanted just to retest it and push down, and then it did push down a bit. It was a good break, it was a good break, and I thought we were going to do okay there, and then I added again up here, so that's why my average price was about here somewhere. And then let's just go next bar. I was watching the volume as well, and we had that initial increased volume off of that bar, and then we started seeing declining volume. As you can see, it's declining on every pullback. So I shorted again. I think my next short was on this bar here. So I went short here. So to go back to this, so I went short around here. My average price was there, and I got out on the VWAP, and I wanted it to push down. I should have used this 50 as an out, but it came back up and it stopped me out. Well, I think my stop out was better than break even it was. So I think I put my stop at the top of, just above this trend line. And so I stopped out there, which is a pain because I saw it push up and come back down again. I thought, oh, here we go, another wick. But it's fine, it didn't push back up. And when I saw it couldn't break this top, I went short again, same place, 44.64. Again, this is only scalps because it didn't really come into my 44.67 level. So technically, I really wanted it here, but I was happy to go with 44.64 because this is really the tops of these candles over here. Let's put the pen on. So the tops of those candles there is kind of the area I was looking out for. So I was probably anticipated a bit early, but it still worked out well. I got out and then let's go next bar, and it came down to the VWAP, so I got out there, and then it pushed up. And then I saw it break the VWAP and the 200 moving average, and I thought, this is the one. I thought it was going to push down a bit further, but it didn't. So I got out, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be chopped around. It's going to be like this all day, possibly. So when it came back up to about this trend line, I got out, and I was done. I contemplated taking the same short again, 44.64, 44.65 area, but in the end I said no. I said to my son, let's go do some archery. It's a lovely day here in the UK, really hot and sunny, and we've had rain for the last 2-3 weeks, so the last 2 days have been nice. So I said, let's get outside, get some fresh air. So we went to our local archery range, and I'm glad because I got one of my awards today as well, which is quite good. So I'm glad I went. It's worth going. Perfect, beautiful weather as well, no wind, important, no rain, and beautiful sun. So anyway, so had I got in at 44.64, that's the area I was watching, and I was going to just buy a 1 or 2 contract and just leave a stop just here, or maybe it would have been probably above my level here. But I decided no, I shut my system down. But look what happened. It went down, came down. And don't forget this level 44.36. I was on watch for a high risk bounce, and eventually came up to it, hit that level, and look at that for a bounce. You got a couple of chances to get into it. It would have been on confirmation as well. So going back to here, let's do some volume analysis. So we had this wedge pattern forming, and that's the other reason I got out of my trade as well. And I didn't really want to short and leave it because we had this big push up on the open, and it looked like we were putting in this bull wedge. And what I was expected to do is to break out and go up, go high. So that's why I was happy to get out at break even, around or better than break even there, for a bit of profit for the day. But then if you look at the volume, you can see the volume started high and it's been declining all day. So all of this is showing decline in volume. So potentially that's showing us weakness, and I didn't really look at the volume well, and I didn't really analyse it. But when you're watching it, it just looks like it's going sideways. And then the volume here, so we then see the volume pick up on this bit where this ultra low volume bar here, and even then low volume with a potential down candle. Still looks like it's weak and doesn't want to push down, but the market, they did what they wanted to do. Came in and it pushed down. So we had increase in volume there for this push down, and then above average volume really for the rest of this down area, and we had decline in volume here, which kind of makes sense because it's a pullback, and another push down, slightly increased volume there, a low volume. Then we was at high volume, potentially ending volume above average. It was higher volume than the bars and we had in the first half an hour of the day. So potentially this was ending volume here. And then we had these little sideways decline in volume as well, showing weakness, so it doesn't look like it wants to push down anymore. Very low volume, and then push up. Again, I've not really looked at the volume, so this is new to me right now. So declining volume on that pullback there, which makes sense, and then we had this push down again, so still showing weakness. And then this level came back into play. Another high volume bar, so again this was higher than the previous volume, so showing possible exhaustion in the sellers. And then it's higher, and then we had this higher than average volume, all this lower than average volume here, and then suddenly we get all this higher than average volume and at this level as well. I'm putting in bottom tails, and so it does look like it wants to push up, so let's push forward. So it did push up there, look at that, come into the VWAP and the 200 moving average, and this below here as well. Perhaps if I draw a straight line, look at that. So it was a break and retest of this level. So had you had a short order waiting up here and you missed a breakdown here, you could have called it again. Nice GBI again on rising volume as the price is declining. Little flag put in, another breakdown, and then we had this potential ending volume. That's a high volume. What time is that? 3:10 today. That's higher volume than even the opening candle. I don't know, it's about the same. Yeah, just a little bit under the open candle. So possible ending volume, and like I said, even though it's ending volume, doesn't mean it's going to instantly bounce back. It's like a ship at sea. It takes time to turn around. So it started turning around. So would I look for a long here? Probably not, because my levels are down at 44.16. And here we go, that's why I wouldn't take a long. 44.16, look at that for a level, for a bounce. And what happens next? So we're coming into the post market now. Still looking weak, and I was hoping it would get here tomorrow, not today. Oh, and that's where we are. So right at this level, possibly it's a long position overnight. If you want to do a swing trade, I wouldn't. We are in a downtrend, and the daily's in a downtrend. Look at the daily. Look at that. Yeah, so we're coming right into this area of demand now. So this area is a potential bounce area, and we've had two big red days in a row. If you look at these candles, slightly higher than average volume as well for both of them. If you compare them to the previous 2 days, we are, where could we bounce back up to? We may come back up and retest this supply area, which is also all the moving averages are merging together as well. We've got the 50, the 8 and the 20 and we've got this area of supply, which is the tops of these candles, so, and the bottoms of these candles, and it took us a few days. We couldn't break through this level. It took some days to get through. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on the 8th day we did break through. So potentially we're heading back up here for a retest, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it breaks down, or maybe it's just a fake breakdown and we're just going to push back up again. So play each day as it comes. Okay, so that's MES. So a profitable day, but not massively profitable. It was okay for me. And have a quick look at oil. Oh wow, look at that. So oil just died. So what levels were we watching? We were watching this area here for a potential bounce, and it came down, didn't quite get there, so I probably wouldn't have taken it. I was waiting for it to get up here. I wanted to take it on a break and retest low. So the idea was right, but the pattern didn't work out. Where's our next level? So it'd be 78.69, 69, this level here. Potentially that's our next bounce area. But it's interesting to see oil moves quite well every day, so that's why I'm quite keen to keep an eye on it, especially the last few days. Let's look at this, what we're seeing now. We've got this left shoulder, this head, potentially a left shoulder, bit of a lopsided left shoulder, and this could be the neckline area, 78, 70. One to watch for. And let's quickly look at the Nasdaq. Oh, look at that. Remember the trend line's been there for some time now, since beginning of August. In fact, it was that day I put the trend lines in, 10th of August, and it's lovely and contained within this trend line with this channel. So where we're heading to next, we're at this supply area as well. So what's that? Yeah, potentially we could bounce off of this level 14.890, but more likely let's just put that level in there, and that's based on looking at the bottoms of these candles, and we'll do this another level just here. And if you look at that level I just drawn, which is 14.877, we got the bottoms of these candles here and the tops of these candles as well, so potentially that's our bounce area. Keep an eye on this week. But look at that, we're right on the trend, and last time we got down there we hovered around, we bounced, came back down and pushed up, but this is, and we literally come right down into that 14.925 area, and potentially, if I'm watching this channel, then there's hundreds of thousands of other people watch this channel and might be looking to buy into it here for another bounce up in that direction. Look at that, great, look at that for predictability. And then the Qs, same. SPX is so close to 4400. We're watching that yellow line there. So potential bounce, we're pretty close, so you could technically say we're at that bounce area right now. So tomorrow we may see it touch it and push back up. Potential area would be this retest area 44, this area here, or if it pushes through, maybe we could watch 44.50, 650. I don't trade SPX. We'll have the 50 moving average in that area as well, but I do watch it because if I see a level like this 4400, then I would typically want to take it on the ES or the SPY, and it looks like the 4400 is a similar area. Well, I'll be watching for a bounce, so 4402, 4405 areas is a similar area on MES. So that's the area I'm watching for a bounce. We might be bouncing during the post market anyway. Right, that's it. Have a good day, and I will see some of you tomorrow. Take care.